Hello, all. Welcome to the Advanced Foster Care Topics Virtual Retreat. Um, my name's Elena, and I'm an international adoptee, and we are excited to be joining you guys today. Um, Real quick, if you haven't gone and watched the after this, please go back and watch it. She had some great insight for all of us, and so please go watch that. She was very knowledgeable, and I loved hearing from former foster youth and kind of being educated on that. Um, so hello. Also, please register for this virtual retreat if you haven't already. You'll get great tools in your inbox and links to those videos. So definitely go ahead and look there. And then the speakers from that day will hopefully do some kind of live or video that night. Um, Yay. Okay. So we are here. We are in the video and it's working. Technology problems are never fun, but a little bit about me. Like I said, I'm an international adoptee and I have 3 books. And so my passion is just to promote healing and help all adoptees share their own stories. Whether you're adopted at age 0 or age 17, um, all adoptions are unique. And if you've met one adoptee, you've met one adoptee. But I think it's really important to also get down to like, what does adoption mean? What does that actually look like? So um, yeah, I think that's really important. I mean, my sister and I grew up in the same home, and we still think of adoption very differently and uniquely as well. Um, so some of the conference uh, topics that I talked about in my presentation were about adoptees and words. Um, the books. Follow me at Through Adopted Eyes. It's a collection of memoirs. It's my own story, and then it's a collection of 50 other adoptee stories. Through Adopted Eyes, and then Through Adopted Hearts is a collection of memoirs from birth and adoptive parents. And then Adoption is Both is my children's book, and that's what me and my sister wrote together. And it's a way to start conversations around the complexities of adoption. So the happy, the sad, the good, the bad, right? No adoption is just one of those emotions or one of those things. So that is something that's really important because I think a lot of adoptive parents get freaked out about talking to their kids about adoption. The more you get freaked out about it, the bigger problem it's going to be. So you have to start those conversations early with your kids. If you don't have an adoption informed household, you better become one real fast. So start those conversations, and I think that Adoption is Both is a great way and a great tool to do that. So hello. Okay, good. I'm glad people are seeing the live. It's working. This is encouraging. Um, good. All right. So like I said in my presentation, I talk a lot about adoptees and terminology and things. So one thing I always like to mention is that very well-intended topics can still be kind of hard to talk about if it's abrupt or brought up well. So or brought up where you're not prepared. So it's really good to just prep an adoptee friend that you know and say, hey, can I ask an adoption question before you get started and start asking that? Another thing that's really important is to use the word adopt correctly. So you guys have probably seen those signs like adopt a highway or adopt an angel tree or adopt a soldier. Those are not bad things, but let's just support them. That's kind of one thing that that's a hill I'm willing to die on, right? Like let's make sure that we really um, use the word adopt when we mean it, because me as an adoptee, if I hear the word adopt, it can be it's just something I always zoom in on, right? So that's something I'm a little picky about there. Love that. Thank you. Me too. um, Another thing I wanted to mention is the terminology of the word orphan is also something that in media is really misunderstood. A lot of times in media, adoptees have to go off and do this grand thing, right? Little Orphan Annie has to go do something, or Shazam, or all these other shows. Buddy the Elf, right? They have to go do some grand things. So, not that we can't do grand things and we should do grand things, but our status as an adoptee should not be our villain origin story. And I think so often it is the villain origin story. So let's not make it the villain origin story. Hello, thank you for joining. All right, a little bit more about this conference. So the way it's broken up is that you're going to hear from different speakers every night, and then their links for informed content and credits is shared that morning. So make sure again that you register for this retreat if you haven't already. So if you're just catching the live, you're only getting a fraction of what all of us and my fellow speakers have to offer. We have foster parents, we have former foster youth, we have adoptees. So make sure that you go, you register, you check that out. It's going to be really beneficial to everybody. And also, wow, we have a whole to-do list for you guys. We have the retreat, we have the lives for you guys to watch just like this, but then we also have all of our individual books and resources too. So make sure that if you're interested in more of what a speaker has to say, go check them out online. All right. Oh, someone said labels are challenging. They are. Were you treated as one of the family or always referred to as adopted? I was adopted at 18 months old, so I always knew I was adopted. So I was treated as one of my family. Um, but I think that that really gets into the nitty gritty of why the terminology of real is so confusing. People will say, oh, have you met your real family or have you met whatever? And it's like, one of them wasn't robots. And so, yes, I was very much part of my family, but I also, my family, none of us are bio related because I'm not related to my parents. And then my sister was also adopted. So I think that really helped that my only other sibling that I know of also had a very similar adoption experience. So that really helped. What are some advice to those? Oops. What are some advice to those who are new to adoption or coming from the adoption situation? Um, okay, I think that the biggest thing to know is that adoption is a business, whether we like to admit it or not. I don't love to say that I was a product of an international business, but without that, I like it is, right? So that's a fact. So I think make sure to pick your agency and the type of adoption that's best for you, and really listen to your heart and your morals on what you want to do. I also think that don't get into adoption to save a child. Um, the goal of foster care is reunification until it's not. And then if the adoption is the goal, then that's the permanency goal. So I would say my biggest advice is to choose the adoption that's right for you. And if you yourself find that it's not an option, or maybe this is not for you, don't force it. But learn all you can. Learn all you can. Make sure that you're doing that in a good way. Um, what advice do you have for making a child or teen immediately feel like a part of the family and welcome? One of my friends was adopted at age 17, and one of the quotes that she has is, they didn't, they being her foster parents and then adoptive parents, they didn't immediately try to assume the role of parent. They were just trying to be safe mentors. And Cheryl kind of talked about this too, but it's really important to be safe. And then from there, we can grow into family and love and everything else. But the biggest thing is just to be a safe mentor first. And that's the biggest thing you can do to make a child or teen feel included. Also, let the child or teen decide what they want to call you. So if they want to call you mom and dad right away, if just let them do that. Or if they want to call you by your first name, or they want to give you a fun nickname, as long as it's not inappropriate, just let the kid lead on that. And that's something that we always tell our foster parents. As a reminder, if someone needs links to the presentation, you can email info@dannyvan.com. So keep that in mind as well. And then they're also a reminder that presentation links are then emailed through there. So make sure to register, make sure to get online. We'll give everybody a minute or two to ask their final questions, but I appreciate you guys hopping on tonight. Like I said, all these lives are just a smidge of what you guys are going to get in the content. So make sure that you check that out and register for our virtual retreat. But yes, again, my name's Elena. I'm with Through Adopted Eyes. Check out Adoption is Both on Amazon. I also am a licensed master social worker, so I just love seeing adoptees thrive, not because there's a forced narrative upon us, but because of our adoptee identity there. And I think that's really special. So, oh, we have a question. It says, did you experience a lot of grief over not being raised by your bio family? I think that every adoptee has a sense of grief and loss, right? That's kind of what we talked about. Every single adoption has joy and every single adoption has pain. And so, of course, I did. Of course, I did. I think that just because I'm grateful and happy that I was adopted doesn't mean that the past is gone. I had a life before my parents met me, and that is something that should not ever be diminished in any adoptee's life, even if they were adopted the day they were born. So of course, I think all adoptees experience some kind of grief or loss about bio-family separation in some way, right? Because adoption wouldn't happen in a perfect world if separation didn't occur. So, oh, thank you for the encouragement on the comments. I really appreciate that. And just a reminder, in the comments right now, you guys can check the link to register. So make sure to check that out. Okay, we're going to give everyone one more minute if they need any other comments. Oh, someone said to get an immediate list of wants, needs, and dislikes for the child coming into your home. Make sure to take them shopping for personal needs, that kind of thing. Oh, absolutely. I think that's some great advice. Absolutely. One of my foster kiddos loved a certain superhero, so we made sure to really include that in all of their in all of their care and stuff. I would also say names are really important. My parents kept my birth name, and that's my middle name, right? So I think that's also a really good way once the adoption conversation happens, let the kid be a part of the naming. Obviously, I was too young to decide my name, but I love that my parents kept my heritage in that way. That was really special that they did that. What advice would you give youth going through the adoption process? I would say that it depends on the age, but advice that I'd give to youth or future adoptees almost, let's say, is that you don't have to have everything figured out at all. You don't even have to know what adoption means to you completely yet, as long as you feel safe and relatively happy. And also, I would say don't be afraid to talk to people about how you're feeling, get professional help, that kind of thing. And adoptive parents, just because your child is asking about the past does not mean it has anything to do with you. That's a big takeaway too that I always say. Thank you for your comments, everybody. All right, we'll give them one more minute. Any more comments? I keep saying one more minute, but then I keep getting comments. All right, we'll give it 30 more seconds. Thank you guys for your comments. I really appreciate it. All right, well, again, thank you so much for joining the Advanced Foster Care Topics Virtual Retreat 2022. Again, please go back after this live, watch Cheryl's live, and then watch all the lives coming up in the coming days as we get through this very exciting first day of our virtual retreat. Register if you have not already, and we're excited to continue this journey again through Adopted Eyes, Amazon, Kindle. I did the audiobook during COVID. That was fun. Anyway, it was nice to meet you all, and I hope you guys have a great rest of the conference.